with the Middle East crisis. Turkey has criticized the U.S. veto of a UN resolution that would have required President Donald Trump to rescind his declaration of Jerusalem as Israel's capital, saying Washington has lost its impartiality in the Middle East. The Turkish Foreign Ministry on Monday said the fact that the resolution was approved by the 14 other Security Council members is the most concrete indication of the illegitimacy of the U.S. decision on Jerusalem. The ministry added that the veto had left the UN Security Council in a state of failure and said Turkey would continue to stand by the Palestinian state and its people. On to Sanaa's crisis, the Saudi-led coalition fighting Yemen's Shiite rebels said it intercepted a missile fired over southern Riyadh on Tuesday, while the Yemeni rebels said they targeted the royal palace in the kingdom's capital. The announcement by the coalition was carried by the Saudi state TV said no damage was caused by the intercepted missile. In Yemen, the Shiite rebels known as Houthis said they fired a ballistic missile targeting the Yamama palace. In Baghdad, protesters in Iraqi Kurdistan torched a mayor's office and stormed a ruling party building on Tuesday as anger raged for a second day as a disastrous fallout from September independence referendum. The vote delivered a resounding yes but drew sweeping reprisals from Baghdad, which have dealt a heavy blow to the autonomous region's economy. In its second largest city, Sulaymaniyah, security forces fired in the air to disperse demonstrators marching on the central Sarai Square. Protests were also held in the Sulaymaniyah province towns of Rania and Kifri, and Halabaja and Qaisinjak in neighboring Erbil province. On the other side of the world, British police have arrested 4 men on suspicion of plotting terrorist attacks. The arrests were made on Tuesday morning by the North East Counter-Terrorism Unit. The men were arrested at their homes in Sheffield and Chesterfield in northern England. Police said the men were being questioned and 4 residential properties are being searched. Noteworthy that the official terrorist threat level for Britain is severe, indicating an attack is considered highly likely. On another side, the Chinese government on Tuesday criticized U.S. President Donald Trump's decision to label Beijing a strategic rival and called on Washington to abandon a Cold War mentality and accept China's rise. A foreign ministry spokeswoman said, "We urge the United States to stop deliberately distorting China's strategic intentions and abandon a Cold War mentality. Otherwise, it will injure others and damage itself." From another perspective, the Chinese embassy in Washington said the Chinese side is willing to have peaceful coexistence with all countries. The United States should also adapt and accept China's development. Meanwhile, Japan's cabinet on Tuesday approved a plan to purchase a set of costly land-based U.S. missile combat systems to increase the country's defense capabilities amid escalating threats from North Korea. The approval will allow the Defense Ministry to buy 2 Aegis Ashore systems to add to Japan's current 2-step missile defense consisting of Patriot batteries and Aegis-equipped destroyers. The cabinet said North Korea's nuclear and missile development has become a greater and more imminent threat for Japan's national security, and we need to drastically improve our ballistic missile defense capability to protect Japan continuously and sustainably. Finally, economic news. Global stock markets were mostly higher on Tuesday after Wall Street gained on growing investor certainty that U.S. lawmakers will approve tax changes. In early trading, Germany's DAX rose 0.1% to 13,326.48 points, and London's FTSE 100 advanced 0.2% to 7,551.58. France CAC 40 lost 1.4 points to 5,419.14. On Wall Street, the future for the Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 0.1%, and that for the Standard & Poor's 500 index was little changed. The Shanghai Composite Index rose 0.9% to 3,296.54, while Tokyo's Nikkei 225 shed 0.2% to 22,868.